Your Daily 180, 180 seconds of pure Bible study.
Welcome to this, your Daily 180 Bible study. Thank you so much for being with us today. We're looking at James chapter 1. We're going to be looking at verses 2 through 8. Specifically, we're going to be looking at verse number 5. We're going to be able to talk about the idea that we can get wisdom from God. Let's look at the text. My brethren, count it all joy when you fall into various trials, knowing that the testing of your faith produces patience. But let patience have its perfect work, that you may be perfect and complete, lacking nothing. If any of you lacks wisdom, let him ask of God, who gives to all liberally, without reproach, and it will be given to him. But let him ask in faith, with no doubting, for he who doubts is like a wave of the sea, driven and tossed by the wind. For let not that man suppose that he will receive anything from the Lord. He is a double-minded man, unstable in all his ways. Every person has some big questions. They may not seem like big questions to someone else, but they're big questions to that individual. And there may be some people who can answer the big questions for us, but there's a lot of people we'd never ask because they'd be so harsh in the way they would answer. You know, I think back in my life, I've been harsh with my sons at times when they were little boys. They'd ask me something and I'd say, well, you mean you don't know that? Well, they were just little boys. You know, I failed as a father in that respect many times, but our Heavenly Father does not fail in that respect. Verse number 5 tells us that not only does He give us wisdom, He gives it to us liberally and without reproach. God doesn't say to us, you mean you don't know that? And it's interesting because when we look at it in context, James is talking about rejoicing in trials. And there's a lot of trials, there's a lot of problems in life where we think to ourselves, why is this so? Well, how do we get this wisdom? Does God just kind of open our head and dump it in? No, it takes effort. Do you remember over in Matthew chapter 6, verse 11, Jesus taught us to pray, give us this day our daily bread. Does God give us our daily food? Oh, yes. Does He just kind of drop it down from heaven like manna, like He did for the children of Israel? Oh, no, we've got to work for it. It takes effort. We have to do these things, but it's still a gift from God. Over in Proverbs chapter 17 and verse number 16, the wise man said, why is there in the hand of a fool the purchase price of wisdom, since he has no heart for it? Do you realize that wisdom is going to cost you something? It's a gift from God, but it may cost you some midnight oil. It may cost you some Bible study, but God will give it to you. Thank you for being with us today.